Welcome to the program, Claire. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm really good. I watched your video, and the story of you and your mom is so unbelievably compelling, and especially since I'm a father of four, and I have children. My children have told me all kinds of things. And it is so hard as a parent, especially at this time when everything is so confused. And all of the experts are saying, no, your kid's going to kill themselves. It is what your mom went through, let alone what you went through. But what your mom went through is just, I think, so universal to some degree or another. And I want to thank you for coming on and telling your story. Can you start it at 14? What happened?
I can. Yeah. Well, it'd be better to start a little earlier. I started identifying as trans when I was 12 years old, following a sexual assault and some pretty severe bullying that I was experiencing at school. And adopting this identity gave me, it gave me the ability to pretend to be a new person, someone that this didn't happen to. And it also gave me an entire social network, a whole friend group of other kids who felt similarly to the way I did. And I fell into this social group and started seeing therapists recommended by the people in the support groups that we were going to, and they made my parents feel like abusers for being skeptical, for wanting to take pause before making irreparable changes to their child's body.
Did anyone say, any doctor say, hang on, we should look at the abuse. This might be something that is tied to the abuse and to those experiences? Did anybody say that and take that seriously? No one.
No one.
Jeez.
My mom asked about the abuse, the bullying, all these things that I'd gone through, disordered eating, and she was told in no uncertain terms, no, that does not make a child think that they're trans. That has nothing to do with it.
These are doctors like at Cook Children's Hospital in Dallas, a fantastic children's hospital. So they have credibility with parents, right?
One of the most well-funded children's hospitals in the nation, yes.
Interesting way of verifying what I said, the most well-funded. Okay, so at 14, you were put on testosterone, and then 6 months later, they're talking about surgery?
I started testosterone in November of 2018, and by January, I was approved for surgery. It didn't happen until June, but that was just because we wanted to wait until the summer between my 8th and 9th grade years.
Oh my gosh. That's pretty young. You're not legal to do anything at that point.
Right. I couldn't get a learner's permit.
So what did they tell you about the surgery, and what didn't they tell you about the surgery?
Well, they told me that I was transgender, that I had gender dysphoria, and that the only effective treatment for gender dysphoria was chemical and surgical intervention. That if I didn't go through with this, the most likely outcome was suicide. That's what they told my parents right in front of me.
Yeah.
And they didn't tell me that they would be performing a drains-free mastectomy on me, meaning there was a significantly higher risk of fluid buildup and shaft rejection as a result, which did end up happening. They didn't tell me that it would permanently take away my ability to breastfeed. They didn't tell me that the majority of kids who looked to pursue this, ended up growing out of it. There was a lot of things that I wasn't told.
So, I mean, but you weren't told like serious, like, pelvic floor dysfunction and urinary incontinence and anything. I mean, I see commercials on TV for, drugs, and they go into 45 seconds of all of the things that could possibly happen to you. They weren't required to tell you these things?
No, they were required. They just didn't.
They just didn't do it.
The FCC and the DOJ are investigating now.
They're still doing it, aren't they?
The doctor who did it to me is currently being sued by the Attorney General of Texas for continuing to do it after it was banned.
So when did you know? I heard you talk about how when, the double mastectomy, the bandages came off and you cried and everybody thought there were tears of joy, but you weren't so sure. What was like? When did you start going, uh-oh, what have I done?
There was always a feeling of sadness surrounding my chest, but the narrative that they tell you in the trans community is that everyone kind of feels bad after surgery. It's post-op depression is what they call it. And that I believed that it was just post-op depression for around a year until what actually happened was a girl on my high school's volleyball team got a breast reduction. And I learned what a breast reduction was from that and realized that a complete mastectomy was not the only option that was available to me, that things were hidden from me. And that's when tides started changing for me.
So when did you start trying to speak out? Because they silenced you immediately, right?
Mm-hmm. They deleted my reviews off of my surgeon's websites, but I started posting on the internet in like 2021 about what happened to me, but I wasn't fully woken up to the reality of the situation until last December. That's when I had my first public event.
And what did you wake up to?
That we're harming children, that there's no such thing as a trans child, and no one is born in the wrong body, that you don't become your true self by cutting off pieces of yourself.
You, in your story, said that at one point you started wearing like a padded bra and you didn't want your mom to know about it. And I thought it was heartbreaking how you were protecting your mom. And maybe you didn't know it at the time, but can you go through that part of the story?
Yeah. So shortly after I had the realization, after I learned what a breast reduction was, I got curious about women's fashion again. I started wanting to be seen as a girl again. And so I started wearing padded bras in secret, and I would hide them under my mattress whenever I got home from school. And one day, my mom found one of these padded bras, and she asked me if she had made a mistake, basically, if all of this had been for nothing. And
so wait. Not if you made a mistake, but if she had made a mistake.
Yes. Well, I mean, I was a child, and we all knew that I was a child, and that this was ultimately not my decision. There were many medical professionals and guardians who had to sign off on this. But yeah, she asked. she asked if all of this had been a mistake, and I got really defensive and upset, and I told her that I lashed out at her, and I told her that this was why I didn't tell her, that I knew she was going to overreact and make it a big deal. But it was a big deal, and that's why she made it one. And no, I didn't tell her that I regretted my transition. I didn't tell her that I was detransitioning until I decided to get breast implants when I was 18.
When you're how old?
18.
18. And that's when you told your mom when you were sitting in the meeting for reconstructive surgery, right?
Yes.
Or going to the meeting. How's your mom doing?
She's doing okay. We both live with a lot of pain and a lot of regret. And we talk about it a lot. There's a lot to unpack, and there's a lot of wounds that will never really fully be healed. But she loves me, and I've never questioned that. She did this because she loves me, and she thought she was saving my life.
So you can understand how parents are just as duped as the 14-year-old?
Yeah. I mean, when you're sitting in front of a mandated reporter who you've entrusted with your child's life, and they're telling you that you're killing them, that your child is cutting themselves and starving themselves because you won't go along with this identity that they've claimed, it would take a lot of prior knowledge of this issue and a lot of very strong will to be able to just overlook that, to be able to say, no, I know what's best.
So now the FTC is looking into whether the pediatric gender medicine industry is deceiving families, hiding risk, making false claims. And this could really be a big impact on stopping this nightmare. What do people do to help? Well,
if you are someone who has been affected by pediatric medical transition, or if you know someone who has, the FTC is taking comments from the public, submissions for people to investigate, essentially. And if you need any assistance filling out that submission, the LGB Courage Coalition is helping people to submit those forms. And if you're not someone who is affected and you don't know anyone, spreading the word is a great way to help. Sharing things like the IWF documentary that me and my mom participated, because people really believe that this isn't happening. People need to know.
I urge you to go to iwf.org, and read and learn and watch. And you can go there and you can actually submit a comment directly to the FTC as well, and urge them to crack down on the mutilation of our children. Claire, thank you. Thank you for being brave enough to share all of this. And tell your mom we pray for not only you, but also her. God bless.